What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Black Nerd Fridays. It's your boy Renan here, aka Blackbearded Nerd, aka Mr. Refined. Of course, I got my co-host with me, Neal, aka Beard Talk Now, aka the Podcast King. What's going on, bro?
Good? What's good? I see you got a new hat on, brother. I see you got a new hat.
Yeah. It's look. It's the Puerto Rico joint. You know what I'm saying? Gotta represent. So let's get into what we're talking about today. Silent voice, which translates in Japanese, the shape of voice is what it actually really
Exactly.
We talking about the pain we carry. Now, this movie was deep, it had a lot going on, so we're gonna get right into it, y'all. So, but before we do that, let me backtrack. What you drinking on?
I'm drinking on water. I ain't even gonna lie to you, brother. I just got it in a container.
Yeah, I ain't mad at you. I'm sipping on something I've been sipping already. You know, since somebody was delayed a little bit, we ain't gonna.
I know, brother. I know.
Sipping on a little something right now, but
he almost done. He's like, man, I need another.
Yeah, facts. All right, so let's move past that. What's your good, bad, and ugly?
Man, I'm gonna say the good is definitely the come to Jesus moment, I guess, as people would have. That's definitely good as the growth and my favorite character is going to be Niaki, if I pronounce her name correctly, the one who didn't change whatsoever until the very end.
Yeah,
until the very end. You hear me?
Yeah, you're talking about No,
not the girl with the dark hair, Niwaki. Or Nawaki.
Yes, that's
Oh, that's her first name or last? Her last
name
is Nawaki. Okay, so her first name is Yuno. So yeah, with her, it definitely was. That was crazy until the end, which we'll probably get to talk about later. My bad is I just the whole. I think my bad is definitely going to be that arc of where. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, you did dirty share like that. It's not okay. I'm guessing my bad is definitely going to be Showa. Definitely his character. We didn't really get any deep insight to his character outside of this whole isolation from his group of friends as a youth when Shoka came into play. But he did have a flashback with his mom handing some money over. So I was just thinking that was that flashback correlated with the same instance that happened in the movie with his mom giving money again. And I don't know if that was just because of Shoka or is that something else that's deeper, but they didn't really fall into that. So my bad is going to just be his character all around. I know he tried to come back and be a good guy. And then my ugly man is just going to be like bullying, bro. And like bullying to that level. And I do enjoy that they didn't try to make it just because this Shoka was deaf that people gave her a pass. I believe as kids are brutally honest to a fault because they have no understanding of how that affects somebody. And that was the ugly was the bullying, but I do enjoy that they didn't try to make it be like, oh yeah, we're okay, everybody's friends. I loved it. I love how the kids was like, nah, I don't like you. You're weird. Stay away from me. I was like, okay, good. So that's all I got.
Okay. Mine would be the artwork in here. This animation here was just absolutely beautifully done. And I mean that, like, they were able to display motions and stuff in here that was just raw and uncut. The music was great. Just everything, the color contrasting, all that stuff as far as artwork involved in here was great. The
Definitely.
storyline was definitely touching, man. Just everything about it. It had you sad, it had you happy, but you were definitely totally in there. You were involved, and it made you feel as if you were back being a child, back being in school again. My bad would be the bullying aspect. I didn't like that. Personally, I beat up a few bullies back in my day, back when I was younger. I couldn't
That's
stand
right, man. You got
bullies.
to give them hands, son.
Yeah, I can't stand bullies. I never liked them. And it's funny, my brother's actually he's a bully, but
You got to give him hands too. That's all right.
no, we don't fight. I normally can talk him out of it. But anyways, that whole aspect of being bullied and stuff like that, it was disgusting. It was sad, and it was just raw. My ugly would be the internal issues that they were dealing with. You're talking about people trying to take their life, and that's a very delicate situation. Not for myself, but just in general. You never know the things that people are going through, what they have on their plate, the stress and trauma that they might carry, the pain that they have going on, and it exposed that and exposed you to who we are as humans in general. So
Mm,
that's my good, bad, and ugly. Okay,
agreed.
so
Agree. I like yours better than mine.
why does
I had no
why
resolve. I
does
had no resolve for the trauma. I mean, definitely the
oh you
suicide.
didn't?
No, the suicide aspect. I definitely was like, yeah, that's deep.
Yeah,
But the bullying aspect, I was like, I was loving the mom. Mom was giving a 1-2 to everybody. I was like, hit
yeah,
everybody. I'm
yeah.
pulling up.
Mom wasn't playing around. She definitely wasn't. So the bigger question is, or deep question is, why does Ishida bully Nishimiya?
So Ishida, Nishimiya. So this is where I get confused. So Ishida
Ishida
is
is the boy, Nishimiya is the deaf girl.
okay. So Ishida is Shoya, which is his last name, and
Yes,
Nishimiya
yes.
is Shoka, which is her, which
Mm-hmm.
is the last. I thought Nishimiya was their last name, and then the first name was going. That's how I thought in Japanese. They do the first name and then they do the
Yeah.
last name and then the first name. That's what I thought. But
So
anyway,
you go
I
right
think
in
his
point.
mom. Yeah, no, I think you got it right because his mom when he met her mom, they had that when he said Miss whatever. So Nishimiya, I
Yeah.
believe so. I mean, I don't know. I think towards the end of the movie, it was like, oh, I was going through things, so I wanted you to just speak to me, which was really weird. Like I don't really like Ishida's character
Mm-hmm.
much at all, just because I haven't grown to yeah, it just in the movie it just really I didn't grow to be like, yeah, okay, I understand this aspect. It was more so of like you like this girl is the teacher, which was the teacher was just like, I mean, I guess in Japan, man, because this isn't all type of animes. These teachers give no fucks, bro. Like, I mean, they
Zero.
give zero. They will the gym teacher, I guess, with glasses. I mean, like he just really hold on, babe. He really was just like what's her first name? Udia. Well, I always get the names wrong, bro.
You
Uh,
talking about Yuno,
yeah,
the
you
one
know.
that
So
was real close with Ishida, who
yeah. So
sat behind Nishimiya.
yeah. So was like, was getting reading slow, and the teacher was like, "Why are you reading like a second-year-old, or I mean, like a third grader?" I was like, "This man is just going harsh." But then
Yeah,
he just let Shoka just go past and just do it, and then Ishida was like, "Oh, you bullying like a friend." Like, I mean, it wasn't more of a friend. He actually had feelings for Uno, and same vice versa. So
mm-hmm.
this was kind of like I'm protecting Una, but the it's not it's not Shoka's fault that the teacher is treating Una this way. And then he just went there crazy, and it was just difficult, man. I know I'm saying like I'm rambling, but I know they attempted to say this is why I was bullying you, but even at the end when he was like, "Oh, I was just trying to I was just trying to get you to like talk to me or something, like get to understand your feeling." I'm like, bro, she can't talk. Like, I mean, she could talk, but it's like you couldn't even understand her or know her as a child. Were you even going to be adept to listen to her? So to me, it was just all around like were trying to protect this girl you liked, and you're picking on somebody that's deaf. And I mean, really to the point even where he pulled the ear hearing aids out of her ears, but they were like attached, so she was bleeding. Like that just showed me, man. I was like, bro, this kid has zero things, man. And I was not feeling that kid, bro. I was like, man, even when the mom came and talked to him, I was like, bro, I would have gave you those hands. But I know that the fathers were not present at all in this show. So that was another thing that I don't think a lot of people may have realized when they watched this show, that there was no father figures whatsoever.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
That was a long-winded question to
Right,
say, bro. I don't know, and I don't care about this character.
Yeah, hold on. I'm writing something in here right now.
No, it's all good, man.
All right. So my response to that is I personally believe he was bullied. If you paid attention to the story, he was bullied by a couple other kids. You know, he had a couple times where they flashed back and they showed him doing some stuff, and they showed other kids doing things to him.
No, it was the
So I
same kids that he became friends with, though. But
Yes.
that was like, it was like the book thing, but then they like easily became friends. But I'll let you finish because I'm like,
No,
I
but
really,
that's my point.
Yeah.
He was getting bullied at one point and it stopped. But his bullying translated to him trying to take that out on somebody else. Normally, this is just normally the case. When people get bullied, they come to school or wherever their social interaction is, and they take that on somebody else who they deem as weaker than them. That's what normally happens. So in this case, he was getting bullied. So he said, well, let me take advantage of this girl who's, partially deaf, has an audio deficiency as well, because she can't talk the way she hears. It's not going to come out right. So let me pick on her. And she clearly told him at the beginning, hey, my name is so-and-so. If you want to talk to me,
use my notebook. Yeah, exactly.
Notebook. He wanted to be an asshole. Just calling it blunt, excuse my French. He wanted to be a jerk and do that. And I didn't like that at all. So I just thought that he was weak as a person and took advantage of somebody. And add in, she wanted to be his friend.
Everybody friend, bro. That's what pissed me off, man. That's what made me even angry.
I don't understand. That's why when I was younger, I used to fight bullies. When you pick on people you know is weak, like, it just don't make sense to me, man. It doesn't make sense. Leave them folks alone and let them be. If you feel they're weaker than you, that's cool. Go about your business and do what you're gonna do. So yeah, I just thought that was messed up.
We on the same page, bro. We on the same page. Yeah, it's Ishida. And then before we move on to the next question, Ishida's character definitely was like, I remember coming from the when I left Kentucky came to the States, and like I was just like a big kid. And I just remember elementary school just getting like, just coming to the neighborhood. Yeah, coming to the neighborhood in Oakland, going to Peralta elementary school, and just getting bullied, man. And I remember just flash forward, like after high school, going into college, where I met all those people that like bullied me, bro. And I ain't gonna lie to you, man. They was like talking to me and saw how bigger I got compared to them because they had hit their growth spurt and everything. And I was working out heavy and all that. And I ain't gonna lie to you, Brian. I was about to just, even though they was trying to talk to me, and I know there was you as kids, I was just wanting to fire on them, bro. I just wanted to give them hands, because when I started fighting back, it was more so out of like, okay, this ain't gonna cut it, man. This ain't gonna cut it. Like, I just came from being a nice kid to like, all right, I'm gonna defend myself, because when you're bigger, a lot of people, to your point, if someone's bigger than you or perceived bigger than you, or you perceive of some type of weakness, you want to push that line as a child, because you don't have the understanding of the deep aspect of like, well, what is that doing to that person psychologically? You don't care about that as a child. And I think for Ishida, even though he was bullied to a point, it was really a few times that they showed, and maybe it's a little bit more, but those same bullied kids were friends. You know what I mean? So, and the reason why I'm just sticking on this question real quick is it just showed that development of like, you became friends, and those were boys. There were boys bullying boys, and now you're bullying a female, and it was like,
I'm adding in on that.
Yeah. But anyway, let's go on to the next one.
I'm adding in on that before we move on.
Yeah,
so
go
I
ahead.
didn't know that you just revealed something I didn't know as far as your background. I had no idea. I thought born and raised Oakland. I thought that's what it was.
Oh no. I grew up. So my dad was in the army. So I was born in Heidelberg, Germany, West Side, where like Shaq was. Moved to Kentucky with when my dad got stationed in Kentucky, and then when I was about 5, I came because I think I came back and forth from Oakland to Kentucky a couple of times, but 5 years old is when we officially moved over. So yeah, man, it was it's definitely it's like you like the new kid and like you come from a army background where you're super young. Like these, when I went to the I ain't gonna lie, man. Shout out to North Oakland, but when I went to Peralta Elementary School, man, it was like it seemed like a real nice, quiet neighborhood, man. But then you got in there with the kids, and even though you elementary, you only like 6, 7, bro. It's just the neighborhood is different. You coming from kids you would never see probably never see again because if they got stationed somewhere else, you would never see them. To and like always just trying to be friendly with everybody, because you didn't never know who the person would be that you would see next. To come into a school where people were like, man, I didn't grow up with this person since I was a baby. Like no one cares about who you are, and it wasn't
Yeah,
everybody, but especially the dudes. Like that's where that and that's where I understand where you coming from. Ren is like, as I started fighting back, and it wasn't a whole bunch of fights because as I started getting bigger and playing sports is like you got to pass, but I still was the same person, but you just got to pass because you play sports. But it was like, man, it definitely opened my eyes. Let's put it that way, man.
yeah,
It was that how is like, are you weak or are you strong? And it's like it is either you fight or you talk hella shit to the point where people will just leave you alone. And it was crazy, man. It was just a different psychological change. So that's why I really, when I look at this, I'm like, man, screw Ishida, bro. Even though I know he got
yeah,
he got his own things, but it's like you get to not deal with the aftermath, and you're just kind of like, well, I grew out older, even though it was very warming, but the music and all this stuff like that. At the end of the day, you got to a point where you became now the people that bullied you that you became friends with, they were like, bro, you're taking it too far, but they never said anything to you because they were afraid too, because of you were bigger than them. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it was just that crazy thing with him as a character. And then he got to that point of like redemption. But the reality is the reason why he came to redemption is because he became isolated because people were like, bro, you really, I know we were playing around, but you really took it too far, man. And it was like, yeah, we're not messing with you at all. It's like from 6th grade to high school. Like that's a lot of years, man. I mean,
yeah. It is.
yeah, it's a
It
lot of years
definitely
for
is.
people to ignore you or call you a bully from something that happened to you when you were in 6th grade. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah, and that's the thing I was gonna say on that is, in my situation, when it came to the bullies, I would normally be defending somebody who they're picking on. I would
mm,
say, you want to mess with them, fight me. Most of the time, matter of fact, all the time I was winning. So let me not say that. But and that's not to say I was tough or nothing. It's just I was, I was gonna fight if I felt you was picking on somebody else. My drive and focus was different if I felt you were messing with somebody who didn't have what I had,
mm,
who didn't wasn't able to back up what they were talking about.
mm,
So what that goes to is this level of bullying is different.
yeah,
As you said, he's picking on a girl. Boys do that. You're talking about primal animal instincts, like
yep,
boys and men. They pick on each other. They see who can let things slide and just say slick stuff. it
yep,
it happens all the time, and see the bounds you can test, and I can get
exactly.
over it. And I'm talking about grown men. I'm 40 now, and I still know people who do that who are my
Mm,
age and older. Like I said, my brother does it. If you show a sign of weakness, he on you as long as he's around you. He gonna be
mm.
on you. Now the difference is he can back his up in a major way, so you ain't gonna put back on him. So people scared of him because they
Mm.
see he's a wolf. They leave him alone. But you know, when it comes to bullying, just that whole aspect is crazy, and I don't know why he picked on a girl. That's a whole nother level, man. It
Yeah,
just
it is.
blew my mind. So, anyways, we're gonna move past that.
I know, man. My
All right.
yeah, it was just deep conversation because I was like, bro, I have no cares for this kid
No, I
whatsoever.
didn't either till later on. So, what happened to Ishida's mom's earring?
Her earring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Ear
I'm trying.
slash earring. When he
Yeah,
was in 6th grade, they went to Nishimiya's house, and they're talking to the
the
mom because
flashback. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yes, Nishimiya hadn't been in school in a couple of days. Turns out she was about to transfer, but she transferred because the bullying
Right.
and the whole situation with him ripping out the hearing aids. They go
Yes.
to the house. Next thing you know, you see the earring missing. You see blood on his shirt. What happened?
Yeah. That I mean, I don't know if that was from abuse or whatever, from the father. Because again, like I said, you didn't see the father. But I'm not sure.
No, this was the mom. Remember, this is the mother talking. The mothers are talking.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying you talking about Sheeta's mom, or you talking about the mom? Yeah, she. That's what I'm
Ishida's
saying. That
mom.
flashback. I'm trying to figure out if that flashback had because it was like it shows the earring on her ear, right? And then it shows that flashback, and she's handing money to somebody. It appears that she's handing money to somebody, just like Ishida's mom did to Nishimiya's mom as well. So I don't know, bro. I don't know if it was abuse. I don't know what the hell happened, man. It was so quick.
I think that the mother ripped the earring out. Nishimiya's mom ripped her earring out, like, okay, your son did this to my child. I'm gonna do this to you and see how you like it. That's how I took that. Because you see the rip right there in her ear. You see like blood stains on her scarf or shirt or whatever.
What I didn't even see, bro. I didn't pay attention to that part. So I saw when they met. Oh, so okay, yeah. I mean, Nishimiya's mom's a beast, bro. Shout out to her mom, man. She should have been smacking everybody, bro. She should have came to the school laying hands on all the kids. That's a fact.
Yeah, she ripped. I believe she ripped the earring out.
Yeah, I thought when she handed money, I thought she just apologized, but I didn't know that. Yeah, she could because she
apologized, but she got the earring ripped out too.
Okay, yeah. Shout out to the mom. Shout out to Nishimiya mom for real. Like I'm with it. I got no love lost for that. So I saw her hand the money. I didn't know she was bleeding. But now I think about it, does have that slow motion where something was dripping. You right. I didn't know she pulled the ear out. Yeah, good job. I would have smacked her and pulled the ear out. Yeah. And then walked up to Ishida and threw the earring in his face. Touch my daughter again. Crazy.
That's what I would have did too. I ain't gonna hold you. All right, so why did everybody have X's on their faces?
Yeah, isolation, man. Like he literally, we probably should have been put the spoiler alerts up, but with a silent voice, Ishimiya or Shoya, his character literally coming out of middle school, going into high school, like his friends, the ones that bullied him a little bit, then they became best friends. They were like, yeah, bro, he took it too far. He bullied a deaf girl like all through middle school. He's like, he's a true bully. Like that was crazy how they did the separation of bulliness, if that's even a word. Like you can go here, but once you go beyond that, it's too far. And then also too with Shoya is when they turned on him, when the principal came and was like, yo, Shoka is leaving the school. She said because of bullying. Her mom said because of bullying. And it was like the principal was like, y'all need to tell me who it was or it's a wrap for everybody. I'm getting everybody's parents involved. And it's crazy how the kids, like you see how the adults really, at least in Japanese culture, at least from anime, and I don't want to stereotype it, so at least from anime, it's like adults are really not involved with the students outside of like just the classroom. And then once the teacher leaves, it's like they don't even check these kids. These kids is just going, they after school cleaning up desks. The teachers ain't there. Like it's wild to me, bro. But but overall, but overall, like they changed on him, and they was like, yo, don't mess with him. Like he's really a true bully. He's crazy. He's wild. And this is his friends talking that he thought they was his friends, and he just ended up like, all right, well, I'm just isolate everybody, man. Like I'm just not even gonna pay attention to the world, man. So he felt alone because it tied in from him bullying Nishimiya or Shoka, bullying her, and in that scene where they were in the water, and he was like, why are you apologizing? Same way Una said the same thing, and it was like, bro, because it's not her fault, she's deaf, but it was like, because you're kids, you are blaming whatever life's situation is on her, and you're in the 6th grade, and it's like everything was fine, and the teacher didn't pick on me until you came, and I'm just like, bro, this was wild. So that's why the X's was there. He isolated. It was
the isolation, him mentally blocking everybody out, because I'm not going to really speak on what he attempted to do, because you see it at the beginning of the movie, but that isolation effect and him mentally blocking people because he knew he was wrong. So he was like, well, let me do this kind of tunnel vision, but not look at people because I know what I did. I respect the fact that he redeemed himself. Now, Nishimiya apologizing to everybody. That's because she didn't want people to feel uncomfortable with her, which is sad. She can't help that she has a hearing disability. She can't help that she talks the way she talks because of that. So she's apologizing to you constantly, and you can't see that. You just saying, stop doing that. That's weird. You shouldn't be doing that. Like it's crazy the way
he would have got these hands, bro. We already know.
I'm telling you. But it's crazy the way humans are and the way we treat each other. And we're looking at kids, man. So that tells you they were tainted. They were tainted because I could say this: being at 12 years old, sixth grade, seventh grade, sixth grade, around that range, I was a good kid. I didn't bother people. I didn't pick on people. I had friends that I hung out and joked with and stuff, but I came from having, struggling financially. So why would I mess with anybody else? And even if I didn't, I just was a humble person to where picking out somebody's flaws or what they lacked in wouldn't make me feel any better for me, because I had my own things I had dealing with. So I never understand the psychology or the psychosis of why people do that sort of stuff.
And I
and you're talking about kids. So then you ask, what's happening in your house and the governance? What's happening?
We on the same page. And I think that's what
are your parents teaching you that you come to school doing this stuff? Right. I always question that. What are they doing at home when you coming in doing this? My parents told me, even when we were struggling, I don't want you fighting, but if somebody hits you, better whoop their ass.
It's a fact.
Period. That's it. I don't care what you do. My mother said, gouge their eye out if you have to.
That's a fact.
So
come on, bro.
I never understood the purpose of why they was doing what they were doing. And, her apologizing for what she had a disability in was sad, and it just had me like I had a lot of emotions watching this movie.
Oh, bro, me too, bro. I was pissed off. I was even getting teary eyed when they was talking about death, and especially the final scene with the last attempted suicide. Like that one hit me the hardest, because it was like when you broke down why she was doing it, and then what the sister said, and introducing the fact that this is not a new phenomenon. This is something that her little sister, which again we thought was a boy, at least that's what they thought in the beginning. But it was just like, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. But I mean, to answer the question, like you said, the exes was the isolation. But it's just so much. Like I said, this draws so much emotion, because a lot of people to this day, as you said, you got 40, 50-year-olds that still pick on, that still do this bullying. And it's just, we're very, as a species, we're very weird, man. We don't want to look in the mirror, and even if we do, we'll look at a mirror and then we'll break what the mirror actually shows, so that we can augment it to what we want it to look like versus what it is. It's like it's crazy, bro.
I'm gonna say this quickly, and then I'll move to the next question, because you had a perfect segue as far as the sister. That's my next question. When it comes to that, well, you got to remember, we're still animals. We're humans, but we're animals. So when it comes to males, the male species and the male, when it comes to animals in general, whether it's lions, humans, tigers, all that stuff, they're setting up a hierarchy. Who's tougher? Who can do this? Who can do that? Who can get the choice of the women to mate with? All that sort of stuff. So we do that stuff to say, hey, this is who I am. Back up, because I get the first pick, or because I assert my dominance. I assert this and this and this. I'm an alpha. I'm being honest, but I'm not. I don't push that out. I carry myself a certain way. I give respect, but I demand respect. I don't have to physically put my hands on anybody or verbally speak anything to make you feel some way. You can tell by the way I carry myself that I expect respect, but I'm also going to give respect as well, because I want to be treated how, I treat people how I want to be treated.
Correct.
But when it comes to the basic level of, humans and animals, animalistically, if that's a word, we do that. So grown men still do that now. I don't have nothing that I'm trying to assert dominance over. I have my wife, I have kids, I have my whole situation good. When I'm around my brothers and cousins and my uncles and all that, and we talking, there's none of that going on. We might joke and stuff with each other, but we don't do that. Subtly, we might do things like we might hit each other on the arm and all that.
Yeah, right.
That's normal, but actually trying to test and see if you can get away with something.
Exactly.
I'm grown. We're not doing that.
Exactly.
So, perfect segue to the sister. What's your thoughts about Yuzu, which was her name, and Nishimiya's relationship?
It was beautiful, man. I mean, Yuzu, she definitely was the type of little sister that you want in your corner. Knowing sign language, spending most of her time with her sister, because her sister told her everything, even as an older sister. So she was like, she had the Napoleon complex in the sense of like, I got to protect my sister, and like she already knew who Ishida was. So she was giving that man nothing but the door every
I thought that
time.
was a boy too, by the way. Like,
Yeah, I know exactly. Everybody did because he was like, "Oh, that's my girl. That's my girl," or whatever. You know, that's what she said to him. But overall, it was just like, nah, like I'm not gonna take that. Like, I'm not gonna take none of that. Like, it's going down like every day, and like she didn't go to school. She stopped going to school when she at least from my understanding watching the movie, she stopped going to school when her sister was telling her all this stuff. And she was like, okay, yeah, okay. I wasn't big enough at that time. And she's still super small, but she was like, no, I was a baby at that time when I was seeing you cry 2 or 3, but now I'm like 8, 9 or something. So it's like, it's what's up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, yeah.
and that's what I love that relationship, man. It's definitely a beautiful relationship. And even with that too, it was like, the conversation with her grandma that she had about like not living her life because I know, right? That was great. Like not living her life because she's so absorbed in Nishimiya's life or Shoka's life. It was like that's deep for her grandma to sit and talk to her like that, because I don't think a lot of times parents or grandparents like that. I feel that that's missing a lot, to where it was a governance conversation in the family, and it was open to where the grandma allowed her to even have a real dialogue. It wasn't just, I'm telling you this and you just go do what I say, but it was like, grandma, but you do the same thing and all that. But she was like, yeah, I'm the grandma. It's a difference. like you
Yeah,
have a life and all that. And it was beautiful, man. Like that whole second half of the movie, because the movie was super long, bro. I thought it was only
it
like an hour
was.
and a half. That thing 2.5 hours, bro. I'm like, okay. Like, and it was that long. It was that long for all the emotion build up, and then you really get
That's why.
you get really separate story arcs in these characters, even though it still ties around Nishimiya and Ishida. And I just think that was, yeah, she was just a great sister, man. Overall,
Yeah, Yuzu was great.
yeah,
To consider that she was younger than her,
yeah,
that she stepped up for her, and the fact that she quit school was pretty much because she wanted to be around her all the time to protect and make sure nobody else came and bully her.
that's a
And
fact.
even deeper, that she portrayed herself as being a boy,
Mm,
to where people say, "Yeah, I'm gonna leave this boy alone because he's protecting his girlfriend," which in
that's right.
reality was, females and also her sister. But the raw talent that she had, even with
Come
all
on.
that, because you got to remember what was going on. She carried that camera and all this stuff, but she was able to do that while protecting her sister. And I thought it was a beautiful thing. And this is what I believe it kind of lacks now. Like my kids, they don't have that relationship sometimes where they look out for each other unconditionally. I had that with my siblings. I think my kids are just so privileged. They feel like, yeah, I don't have to deal with you because you're my brother or you're my sister. You know what I mean? They like, I don't have to deal with you. Me and my siblings, we grew up a certain way, so we're tight. We can disagree, but we can agree to disagree.
Right.
But we always got each other back. Nobody's coming on the outside messing with none of us. Nobody. I'm telling you, that's a tight knit unit. You're not coming in between here. So I love that relationship between them two. I thought it was beautiful, and I really, really loved Yuzu. And I didn't want you to go into the grandmother because I kind of got a question
No,
all
no,
the
I
way
got
at
you. I
the
got
end. It's all the way at the end, but you'll be able to tie that in later on. So
It's all
great.
good, man. It's all good. I just had to just throw in a lot of these key moments, man. Like I said, this is a good movie. I mean, it definitely had parts that you were like, all right, I know where this is going, but it was straightforward. The music was good for the emotion, the color, the aspect of mental health and being depressed was also involved, but it wasn't involved in a way to where it was like depression. It was like, no, this is a buildup, and this person doesn't understand it's depression because of the actions that they've taken, not
It was
because
subtle.
exactly. It was good, man. It definitely was
It
good.
was
You did a
subtle.
good
Dude
pick, bro.
sold the
Good pick.
furniture and all that stuff just to do
Yeah,
something. So I don't want to get
facts.
too into that.
I
So
know
what
that.
qualities does Nishimiya possess as a person? What did you think? What sort of person is
Come
she?
on, bro. Acceptance, man. Acceptance of people. Like, I mean, that's the biggest thing. But not only that, like, because she knows she has a disability, that she was like, I'm gonna live life to the fullest, because there's so many things. Like, I just want to be able to just talk regularly. But she also had a strong family, man. Grandma, her mom, her sister, like they was holding her down. Like her mom was not you could tell that her mama raised her right, because her mom was like, you are literally, without her mom ever saying it or even them showing it in a movie, her mom was like, you are the same as everybody else, like point blank
Mm-hmm.
period.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it was I mean, even with the teacher, like with the scene where she was talking, the teacher told her to read the book, which was, to me, again, this whole aspect of like, yeah, we gonna treat you the same, but we don't want, but anybody that talk crazy to you, we're gonna be like, oh no, that's not right, but I'm gonna still tell you like, oh great, I got this deaf kid in my class. And that's exactly
Yeah,
how the
I don't
teacher.
even know why he had to read the book, but
Yeah,
anyways.
bro. It was just, but it's that showing of like, we're gonna treat you the same, even though reality is, for that aspect, it's not the same. So
Yeah.
yeah, she just was, she was cut from a different cloth. The rest of those kids, man, they got a lot of stuff that they put under the rug, and I'm glad that towards the end of the movie that they really got a chance in multiple scenes to really have some heart to hearts and some disagreements that was real. And
Hmm.
and even for Una's character to be like, I'm not gonna ever be your friend. Like, I respected that, because I was like, at
And
least
the
I
Ferris
know,
wheel.
yeah, you know what I mean. And the
Yeah.
Ferris wheel just being like, and even, I mean, Ishida did that same thing when they was kids too. Of like, you're angry at this person because you feel like shit, but you want this person to lash out at you so you can continue to approve the feelings you have of this person, even though you know they're wrong. You want the approval to be like, see, it's them, it's not me. And I
Yep.
love, I love how she never changed, man. She just wanted to live her life, man. Wanted to live her
Period.
life.
I think Nishimiya was a beautiful soul spirit. Very humble, very forgiving. Definitely in tune with a lot of things because her lack of communication. So she was in tune with a lot of stuff, and just she would be, to me, like the ultimate of ultimate when it comes to human beings. That just
Mm.
ultimate humbleness, forgiveness, don't want no trouble with nobody, speaking from your heart, but just acceptance of everybody as well. She was a beautiful person. I think they conveyed that perfectly. And I felt so bad that considering all the qualities she possessed, she had to go through what she went through and even consider doing what she was going to
Let's
do
go to the
towards
bathroom.
the end. So that's
No,
what I
that
really.
is on the show. Yeah.
I had another question, but I'm gonna move past it because I don't care about Ishida. All
Nah, it's all good.
right, so what's the main theme of this movie, in your opinion?
Man, that's a deep question.
Yeah.
It has a lot. I mean, it has a whole bunch of layers. It has depression. It has self, not I forgot the word, but you have, self account. I mean, accountability for
Hmm.
yourself, like self accountability, that you are the problem, not the other person. It also shows like, one of the biggest things that I got from it is, also shows when you're silent about bullying. Because even the girl who, the one that had glasses, but she's not wearing glasses anymore, with the blonde hair,
Kawhi
and how, yeah, Kawhi, and how they always was
with the
talking
blonde
about
hair,
how,
right?
yeah, the one they were like, yo, you was laughing too. Oh, I wasn't like y'all, but she, and then, but Una said it straight up. She was like, but you didn't say anything while you was laughing when we were all doing it. So you just as accountable. I didn't do that. I didn't treat her this way. I didn't do that. I was like, yeah, but you didn't stop it. So you were accepting of it. And I think that was one of the biggest things that's very hard, for people as a whole, because even for you, Mr. Refine, to be in that situation where you're like, nah, I'm not gonna let this bullying happen. Now that puts a bigger target on you, if people really wanted to step up in that level. And it's like, but that's the thing, like, if you don't say something, then you're just gonna be the next victim, one way or another, sooner or later. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, because they're like, as long as, hey, it's none of my business, I'm gonna
Hmm.
stay out the way. The problem is that it's always a double-edged sword, with none of your business, and then it comes to your doorstep. And when it comes to your
Right.
doorstep, it could be your kids later on, it could be your grandkids, and you would be like, see, I should have nipped this in the bud in my time. And I just
Yes.
really think that was probably one of the biggest things I got from it. The redemption aspect, the depression, all that, it really showed what not stepping up and saying something, and stepping in your truth could do, not just to yourself but to people around you. And I think a lot of them, even Mikoa, if the one that was the first girl that wanted to learn sign language,
Oh,
um
Sahara.
yeah, the one that got taller than everybody and still
Yes,
was what,
Sahara.
yeah, Una. But she even said too, she was like, I used to be afraid of y'all like no other. And she was like, I just stopped being afraid. Like, she was like, I still don't like outright say what I want to say, but it was just like I'm glad that she said that when she was in the group and they were having that conversation. Because at the end of the day, my last thing, and I'll stop talking about this, is just that they showed how a lot of times you have to deal with your past so you can be a part of your present. And a lot of them were stuck in their past as children, but then they still were doing children's blaming things, even though they were older, but they still haven't dealt with those things because they felt like shit, but they just didn't want to admit it because they had someone else to blame. And you had no parental aspect to be like, no, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're 100% wrong. And not just you're wrong and I'm gonna let it go, but no, you're wrong. You're gonna make amends every single day. You know what I mean? Because that's what my parents, yeah, that's what my parents would have did. My mom would have been on my ass every day. Every day. Did you do A, B, and C? Okay, we going to their house right now. Like, seriously. You already know.
So I trust me, I know 100%. You know, growing up on the street we grew up on, which is short because we moved around a lot. But anyways, my parents knew this certain thing that's going to happen if you do this. I'm going to talk to their parents, which live right down the street from you, and blah blah blah, all that. So the main theme to me, same thing you said: depression, accountability, redemption, and to kind of tie it back into what you're talking about as far as, you know, allowing things to happen. I have a friend, this was my best friend in high school. We had a falling out, and we've, you know, we kindled our relationship. We good again. We've able to been talking. We've gotten close again, like we never missed a beat. But we talked last week for 2 hours, bro. 2 hours. And we had met up a couple times before then, prior, face to face and stuff, and was talking. But when he came by my house and we talked about some things, and he revealed some stuff to me. And then we talked the other day for 2 hours. He revealed some other stuff. So in the midst of that conversation, it was kind of him telling me, hey, I was doing this and this and this, because he used to lie about stuff that didn't matter. He came from a very well-to-do family, not rich, but they were comfortable. As Black people, they were good. I struggled. So I respected his whole situation. He had both parents in the house. His parents had money. He had everything just looked good from the external, from the outside looking in.
That's a fact.
So I liked being around him for that reason, and I thought he was a good person. Now, he had aspects of himself that he would bully people, but it wasn't physically. It was more like messing with him, talking stuff.
Yep, talking around your mouth. Yep.
Sometimes I would be like, yo, chill. And he was tall. He was tall. Now he's 6'3". He was tall back in high school. So, you know, he was talking stuff to people all the time. So I'm like, yo, you know, chill out. Now, we talked about a specific person that was our friend at the time. And he was like, yo, I reached out to him because anybody I did wrong, kind of the same thing with Ishida. Anybody I did wrong, I wanted to make right. And I apologize for what I did. I said, listen, bro, you got to understand. I talked to this person, the middle person. And me and that person talk, me and him talk. He's not talking to you because sometimes you would take it too far. And he was like, man, you could have told me. I said, yeah, some things I felt you just should know. I could say something to you, but you should just know this because you wouldn't want nobody to do that to you. Like, he didn't physically do anything, but verbally he would just say stuff. It's that just friend, stuff.
But that friend aspect was also very key in the movie too, as you talking about it, because it really showed me of like, yo, a true friend would be like, yo, you wrong. You know what I mean? And like, or yo, chill, that's not cool. And if a person keep doing that, then that's where you start like what you did. It seemed like y'all just was like, all right, I'm gonna start the separate, you know, the degrees of separation, because it's like, bro, I've already told you what, you know, a real friend is just not gonna let what Ishida did in this movie go and like, yo, and still go hang out and everything cool. It's like, nah, bro, hey, if you doing that, you need to chill. And if you do it all the time, I'm gonna call you out about it. And if you still, and then if you wanna throw hands, then we can throw hands. But no, this is not okay. Like, you can't be somebody's friend and allow them to bully on people. And that really just shows the insecurities that person has, and their insecurities are being the actions in their insecurities are being approved by the friends that they have, because the friends they have are not allowing them to know, like, no, bro, you need some assistance. You need some help, but we ain't about that life over here. All right.
Yeah, we talked
So,
about all that. It was deep,
yeah.
man. It was definitely deep. This is why I like this movie because it relates a lot of different
So
aspects of
I see,
human
man. This is
nature.
good, brother.
And I was trying to talk to my wife about it yesterday because she watched like 20 minutes of it with me. And I
Mhm.
said, look, you talk crap when you hear the language. I said, X out the language. I know you don't like to read the subtitles, but most anime stuff, whether it's a whether it's a series or a movie, there's normally messages and stuff behind there, and they relate to us on a human level. Whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Chinese, whatever your ethnicity is, they relate. I said, so watch it. So she was into it for a second because she was like, wait a minute, why did he sell all the stuff? He doesn't have a bed and this and this and this. Pay attention. Pay
That's
attention.
right.
And she didn't finish it, but you know what I mean? It's deep. Now back
Message.
to exactly. Back to my friend. When I talked to him, I said, listen, he's like, man, why you didn't tell me? I said, I was telling you, but you was still, you know,
You was
focused.
doing this. Yep.
You putting that X on and putting blinders on. You putting you deaf. You focusing on what you're focusing on. My body language told you I wasn't with it, and I might have had I had conversations with him after the fact. You know, when we left school and stuff like, yo, you come on, man, leave that man alone. Like you're doing too much. I'm not gonna fight you for it, but leave
Yeah.
him alone. Like, and trust me, in no way, or shape, or form am I scared of him. Taller don't mean anything to me. It just means I need to get in close. But but I think that the movie,
hit him with the
yeah,
I get you to bob and weave, brother. Bob and weave. Nah.
exactly. But you know, the theme was deep, man, and I respect this movie. This had a lot, so it's a perfect segue again. How many people walk around with this pain?
Man, a lot of people.
Mm,
I think a lot of people. A lot of people don't get to there. A lot of people are told as you're an adult, you should be like, oh, that was when you were a child and let it go, or
mm,
you're older now, so it's nothing to do. But I was like, you don't get to dictate how someone feels when you terrorize them, and that's what bullying is: terrorizing a person, whether it's physically, emotionally, mentally. That's terror. And I think for again, as for males, or a lot of times, and especially not in the anime that we watch, because a lot of the times in the anime we watch, a lot of the males don't have like this fighting aspect all the time. Like you do have some the ones like the characters that you like most of the time, they're the ones that fight, they get beat up, but they just keep fighting. And then you got the ones that don't. But also too, as a male, you judge where you're at. Like if I start fighting this person and they jump me, what could happen? What's the worst that could happen?
yeah,
So you're
yeah,
always you're always trying to adjust yourself to the environment, but that
mhm,
psychologically really just messes with a lot of people. And DL Hughley, I use him as an example. While like what DL said is he was like his dad was like cowards can't eat at my table, and he literally is his stepdad, but he DL used to get his lunch taken all the time, so he used to always be super hungry. And this was DL saying this, and he was like, his dad didn't let him eat. He said no. He was like, if you're gonna let somebody take your food away, then you ain't gonna eat at this table. And literally, he didn't eat. I don't know if it was a day or a couple of days, but DL, the kid tried to take his lunch again. He's like, you ain't taking my lunch. And the kid, they fought. The kid, busted his nose and everything. But DL ate a sandwich and he said he with a bloody nose and mouth or whatever. He said that was the best sandwich ever because it was like, yeah, the worst you can do is hurt me. But also too, it could be taken to an extent that it could have been death. Like that person could have beat DL to the point where you'd be in the hospital or something of that nature. So it's really just like it's just a lot, man. Like just talking in that regards
yeah.
shows the trauma that it is, and it's very traumatizing, man. And the pain
It
that people
is.
walk around with. It's a lot of people that probably want to tell us a lot of other people, that you in some shape, way, or form, you affected me in this way. And I think as
Mhm,
an adult now, you should, if you're able to have that conversation, and not get defensive and say, well, I was going through A, B, and C. I was like, yeah, but you put this pain on me. So what was it that you were going through that allowed you to tell yourself it's okay for me to push this on somebody else? And that pain
yeah.
just, I think a lot of people deal with that pain.
Absolutely, I agree. Some people deal with this pain that are close to me, not suicidal thoughts, but the depression aspect. So I understand that 100%. And as far as that bully aspect you were talking about, and
Mm-hmm.
the not coming home, I mean, not eating at the table. I remember, and it's funny. You learn from your mistakes, and you become who you are based upon your experiences. My brother used to not fight. Um, he's older than me by 3 years. I used to beat up everybody for him. I don't care who it was. Okay, somebody trying to fight you. I'll meet him in the bathroom later on. He's 3 years older than me. Now, we used to get off the bus, and my brother would beat me and my sister home. So my father said one day, the usual. What you doing? What you doing getting home before your siblings? Oh, you running from them boys, huh? Okay, you come in here. If you run in here, you can get your ass whooped by me, or you can stay out there and fight and get your ass whooped by them. So one day he runs home. My father sees him. He closed the screen door, locked it. He said, "You can stay out there and fight them, or you gonna come in here and get your ass whooped by me." My brother stood out there. He picked up something with the swing, and those 5 of them boys he connected with 2 of them with a broom, connected with 2. That right there changed him. From then on, he was a whole nother monster. That boy is something different now. He's different. The point I'm making with that is a lot of things can make or break a person. And for some people, it breaks you bad. I have an uncle who did 20 years in prison in Louisiana. He was weak when he was younger. From what my father and uncle tell me, he was weak. The other uncle told me he was weak. One day he had to fight. After he had that fight where he couldn't run, he couldn't get nowhere, he had to fight. Changed him night and day. He became a monster. He became a Debo where he taking people's money and broad daylight, all that sort of stuff. And eventually was in the streets and went to prison and all that. But certain things can make or break you. I've had incidents where I've let things go because I knew the bigger picture wouldn't work out. Not because I would take an L physically, because I'll take an L one-on-one. I don't care about that. But what's the long-term effects? Are you going to stab me, shoot me, and all that? You got it. I'll go ahead. I'll go home. I'm still alive. I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? Like Craig's father said on Friday, you scared to take an ass whooping. I'll take an L. I don't care. I don't want to, but I'll take that over dying. That's an alternative. So there's a lot of people who walk around with pain of being bullied and having certain things going on. Sometimes it's okay to stand up, and sometimes you might just have to say, "Hey, man, let me walk away. I'll go home, but I'm living. I'm definitely living." I've seen some people who got over on me when I was younger, and I see him now. I might be kind.
Ain't no mic for me, brother. No,
I might take off on him. I don't know. It depends on how the energy is.
I mean, our body slam them or something. I think that people like let it go, but it's like you get to. I think about that now too, and even my actions of if I talk to someone some type of way and just like, well, how did that affect that person? Now that I'm in the hindsight's always 20/20, but now that you're growing as a person and have people that will hold you accountable for that growth, you look at things a lot differently. So I think that's really what it is. It's not even that you have to. You acting on the past is not going to change the past.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
But I definitely agree that that pain really is like, it festers. Like you said, the times that you walked away, it's like it's a ego and a pride thing, but not in a way where it's just like I gotta be the best or I gotta be number one. It's like, no, it's just an ego or pride thing because it's like, I let this slide, and how many times more will slide? Because again, like I said, growing up, how we grew up. If you let something slide to a point, people will take, again, it's back to what you said. They take it as weakness, and so they keep doing it until you react, and then they're like, "Oh, you're the crazy one." And I used to see that all the time. It's like, how is the person you bullied the crazy one because they just put hands on you after you kept bullying them, and they was like, leave me alone or let us. I was like, it never made sense to me, man. And I think those people who walk around. Yeah, it never will. It never will. Because it never will. So everybody got that pain, man. Like take a martial arts class, play some video games, because at the end of the day, you can't go back and beat up the past. But moving forward with the present, like just don't like, I'm not taking that. And I'm gonna talk to you as an adult. And if it comes to something different, then like I have to judge it from that aspect. But I'm not letting that slide. You're not going to. I'm not going to allow the pain. I'm not going to allow myself to hold pain to make yourself feel okay with whatever's going on with you. And I think that's where people are still holding that on. I just hope that they just say, nah, I ain't gonna hold that no more. I'm gonna go to therapy and get all the past pain away. But moving forward, nah, we ain't about that life. Not at all. Not at all, brother.
I like that. All right, it's the last and final question, but this is the deepest one, at least to me. What's your thoughts on the usage of them communicating through their dreams?
Yes. That part was deep, bro. That was like the end, like wake up type of thing. I'm crying. I saw you. I
But you
read the
had that more
notes.
than once. You had
Yeah,
more
yeah,
than
you
once.
did. And I think what it is that you have two people that could have truly been friends. And that connection because of whatever they're feeling and inadequacies that Ishida felt from, and maybe it's not just a bullying, maybe the situation where his mom had to give money to somebody, which whatever that is, maybe she had to give that money to his father, and when his father left for something, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know because they didn't go into deep dive. So that experience, plus when the bullying he got from the two guys that are became his like literally his best friends, and that was really just like the new kid. So they were like, oh, the new kid, let's bully him, and then they started to like wrestle and fight, but it wasn't like in a serious way. But they became friends, and then being isolated from them because he was attempting to protect another friend, Yuna, because he actually liked Yuna as well, and he was like he didn't like how the teacher was treating him. It was like it was not standing up and saying, hey, I don't like that, teacher. I think that's very rude of you, or telling his parents, his mom, that, hey, this is what's going on with me in school. It was like it's a lot of internal things built up, and that is the same thing that Nishimiya she had to deal with, because again, being deaf and dealing with that, it's like this is crazy. Like, she knows already that people are gonna be like, oh, you're different. Oh, you can't talk. You can't do A, B, and C. So it was just this internalization, and these dreams that connected them was just like, these are two people. These are the real. This is the mask off for society, and this is the real me in my dreams. And then we connect and we realize how similar we are, but we're still in this social structure aspect, and it's really just deteriorating the internal us. So we just keep dreaming, and that dream us is the us that we want to be. And for it to connect for those two, I think begin they were on the same harmony, the same energy, and that
Yeah.
connection was like, oh snap, I found somebody who I really could be a true friend with, but here I am acting like a dick. You know what I mean? Like, seriously.
Yeah. Well, for me, the one that stood out to me the most was the one when Yuzu was dreaming. First, she had a conversation with her grandmother, went to sleep, dreaming, and in the dream, some things happened, woke up. Next thing you know, they have a funeral for the grandma.
Yeah, that was
Um, that hit very, very hard and hit close to me. The one with Ishida and Nishimiya at the end was beautiful as well, because they both were kind of having, he was in a coma, but he was having a dream. And she was, awake but dreaming, and they both were connected on that level. I relate that to us as humans, that I'm not blocked off from that aspect. I've kind of got dimmed down because I have some gifts from my mom's side that I don't take advantage of fully, and that's a conversation we can have governance wise one day. I have a lot of gifts, but I've had some dreams that mean a lot, and they either are happening right there in that moment. They happen, whether it's good or bad, and I've woken up and it's been happening right there, or I've had them and it's saying this is coming, or I've had them and it said somebody has something going on. Talk to this person and see what it is, but this is the possibility. And all of them have been eye-opening, to say the least. And I really respected the way that they use that, because it tells you um, Black folks aren't the only ones who have this connection to the earth and our spiritual being, as far as what we do when we're asleep. And them showing that with Yuzu, Nishimiya, and Ishida was beautiful. I loved it, man. This was a well put together movie. I don't want to go too crazy because I could talk for probably a good 30 minutes on my experiences and some of the dreams I've had. I'm telling you, like, they might seem crazy, but they real. They're crystal clear. Crystal clear.
Right, man. It's just that the way of the universe, man. Like, I mean, I think that a lot of people take it as, they call them shamans or force seers and things of that nature. But I think when you really are in tuned, or something when something is really attempting to be shown to you, like in this movie of like, I'm showing you something, you got to take advantage of it.
Take
You
advantage
got to
of it.
realize that this is what you asked for. You wanted clarity. You got
Yep.
clarity. What you gonna
Facts.
do with it? So
Facts.
definitely, man. Definitely.
Well, that's it for this joint. Listen, man, this was one of my favorite movies we've watched
Take the
recently.
spoiler alert off. Take the spoiler
Yeah,
alert off.
I
I was like, I thought he was gonna. Yeah, I thought she was gonna drop it on the lower. Drop the lower third.
yeah.
Shout out to Rosemary.
Just one of those movies where it's very realistic, it's very human, it's dramatic, but it's real and you can relate to it. And I totally love every minute of it, man. I would like to see them as progression as adults, just my opinion, because I was in tune with the movie and I thought it was beautiful. So that's it, man.
Nah,
You
man,
got
hey.
anything before we get out of here?
All right, I appreciate it. This is a good selection on the movie. Way too long for me. I definitely thought 2 hours was more than enough, and it went 2.5. So I was like, bro. but overall, I was like, some scenes I'm like, okay, but like definitely I would the last half of the movie was like, okay, it's worth it, because I was like, yeah, let's talk about some real stuff here.
Yeah.
Let's really have some real conversation, and they did. So shout out to creators of this, and yeah, man, just looking forward to it. We hear,
Facts.
you know how we do on Black Nerd Fridays. What up, Suds?
Yo, we need you back ASAP.
That's
Listen, y'all,
facts.
this has been another episode of Black Nerd Fridays. Thank y'all for pulling up, showing some love, and we'll see y'all as we always do next time on Black Nerd Fridays. Peace.